The Honda Integra Type R isn't just any car. It's without a doubt a true Japanese icon, something that stands out from the crowd. And for many JDM enthusiasts, it's an absolute gem. That's why finding one abandoned and in this condition is an incredible opportunity to bring it back to life and turn it into something truly special. As you can see, this car has been sitting outside for a very long time. The body is completely beaten up, covered in dents, scratches, and most likely the one thing everyone dreads, rust. The interior isn't any better either. The airbags have deployed, the seats have been chewed up by rats, and there's dirt everywhere. As for the engine, honestly, I expected it to be much worse. It's definitely dirty, but overall it doesn't look too bad. And surprisingly, it still has many of its original components. After this quick initial inspection, they load the car onto a tow truck and take it back to the shop so they can get a better idea of the engine's condition. The first thing they do is use a bore scope to inspect the cylinders, checking for signs of water damage or scoring on the cylinder walls. Surprisingly, everything looks pretty decent. Next up, as always, it's time for a compression test. As you guys know, having even compression across all cylinders is one of the best indicators that the engine is still healthy. With those first checks out of the way, they move on to the bodywork. Do you guys think they'll be able to repair it, or would it make more sense to replace some of the panels altogether? Finding parts for these cars has become incredibly difficult. Although, as you saw in previous videos, there are companies in China making reproduction parts for a lot of these classic JDM cars. The doors are badly misaligned, so they put the car on a frame machine and begin pulling everything back into place. This isn't an easy job. Repairing dents using paintless dent repair techniques takes a huge amount of patience and experience. It would definitely be much easier to simply cover everything with body filler like we've seen in other restorations, but this method delivers a much cleaner result. After that, they begin stripping the car down piece by piece. The doors, steering wheel, seats, interior trim, carpet, pretty much everything has to come out. The steering wheel is in terrible condition, but instead of replacing it, they send it to a professional to have it fully restored, which I think is a really nice touch. As you saw earlier, the airbags had deployed, and that can sometimes mean serious structural damage, including a bent chassis. To check for that, they come up with a clever homemade measuring tool that lets them compare both sides of the car and identify exactly where the frame is out of alignment. Then, using the frame machine, they slowly begin pulling everything back into spec. This is probably one of the most critical parts of the entire restoration. Even a small misalignment in the chassis can affect the way the car drives, compromise the suspension geometry, and even have a negative impact on braking performance. Little by little, they keep adjusting everything until it's back to factory measurements. Now they continue stripping the interior, but while they do that, I wanted to ask you something. Would you buy a car that had been in such a serious accident that the chassis actually had to be straightened? Let me know down in the comments because I think this could turn into a really interesting discussion. With the car almost completely stripped, they also remove the rear wing and start sanding the body. Then they mask off the windows, protect the areas they don't want to paint, thoroughly clean the surface with wax and grease remover, and finally apply the primer. Like I always say, this is one of the most important steps if you want the paint to last for years. It's a shame they're not using a proper paint booth. At the very least, they should have sprayed water on the floor to keep the dust from getting kicked up while walking around. Otherwise, those particles can easily settle into the primer. We'll see if they take any extra precautions once it's time to paint. While the primer is drying, they move on to one of the things I always pay close attention to in these restorations: safety, especially the braking system. Besides repainting the calipers to freshen up the appearance, they replace the brake discs with larger drilled rotors, which should noticeably improve the car's braking performance. Back on the bodywork, they use body filler to repair the deeper scratches in the bumpers, along with a few small dents. As you can see, they're not using excessive amounts of filler, just enough to level out the imperfections, which is exactly how it should be done. While the filler cures, they give the carpet an incredibly deep cleaning. Honestly, it probably hasn't been this clean since the car left the factory. They also clean up the interior, sand away the rust to see how far it is spread, and apply primer to the affected areas to keep it from coming back. Now it's time to tackle the seats. Do you think they'll replace them completely or try to restore the originals? They're in terrible shape after being chewed up by rats. They begin by removing the mounting hardware, separating the seat base from the backrest, and carefully taking off all the upholstery. This isn't the kind of job just anyone can do. It takes real skill. The fabric has to be stretched perfectly to avoid wrinkles and loose spots. They apply adhesive to the foam, reinstall the trim pieces, and start fitting the repaired upholstery back into place. As you can see, they're actually reusing the original fabric after repairing it. Do you think that's the right decision? Or would you have just bought brand new seats instead? Personally, I probably would have replaced them. But let's see how this restoration turns out. Something tells me they're going to surprise us. After carefully stretching everything back into place and giving the seats a thorough cleaning, the transformation is honestly incredible. Next, they move on to the carpet. Instead of replacing it, they decide to repair the original by patching the most damaged areas. Honestly, I think that's the right call. Finding a brand new carpet for a car like this would be nearly impossible, and making one from scratch would take far more time than restoring the original. They replace the damaged rear reinforcement bar from the accident and then apply primer to the rear bumper. From there, they continue upgrading another component that, in my opinion, is absolutely essential when it comes to safety: the suspension. Worn suspension components can completely change the way a car handles and, in the worst-case scenario, even cause an accident. Once the primer on the hood has dried, they sand it back down to remove any imperfections. Most likely, these are dust particles that settled into the primer because they weren't working inside a proper paint booth. After getting the surface perfectly smooth again, they mask off the windows and all the areas that won't be painted just yet. Unfortunately, they make the same mistake again. They still don't clean or wet down the floor or the walls. I understand that not everyone has access to a professional paint booth. They're expensive, take up a lot of space, and for many projects, they simply aren't practical. But at the very least, spraying a little water around the work area would dramatically reduce the amount of dust floating through the air. While the paint dries, they give the headliner a deep clean, continue sanding and painting smaller parts, and then move on to the wheels. They fully refurbish them before repainting them. And honestly, I wasn't expecting this color change. I think it's going to give the car a lot of personality. Once the paint has cured, they begin reinstalling some of the body panels, including the doors and the fenders. As you can see, all the body lines line up perfectly, which tells us the frame repairs and panel alignment were done correctly. Next, they install the roof trim, refit the moldings, restore the headlights, and mount the rear bumper. Now it's really starting to come together, and honestly, it's looking absolutely fantastic. There's still plenty of work left inside the cabin. None of it is particularly difficult, but it definitely takes time. They polish the headlights and apply a fresh coat of clear coat. It even looks like they've slightly tinted them, giving the front end a more aggressive look. And now comes something that was honestly pretty predictable. They have to sand and polish the paint they just finished because it's covered in dust nibs. This is exactly the kind of extra work that could have been minimized by preparing the painting area properly. Of course, no matter how clean your workspace is, a few dust particles will always find their way into the paint, but nowhere near this many. So after sanding, it's time to polish, and then repeat that same process over the entire car. What do you guys think about leaving the rear wing mounts completely bare without any primer or paint? Personally, I think that's a mistake. Over time, those exposed areas could easily start rusting again. With the exterior nearly finished, they head back inside the car and continue restoring the interior, giving the trim pieces, pedals, and floor mats a thorough cleaning. And finally, we get our first look at the completed front end. Honestly, it looks incredible. They install the side skirts, give the engine bay a deep clean, and finally begin getting the engine back into shape. The valve cover comes off, they replace the seals and gaskets, but once again they do something we've seen in previous restorations. They remove the valve cover and then walk away to work on something else, leaving the engine completely exposed. I really don't understand why. They also install a new intake filter. Besides giving the engine bay a much sportier appearance, it should also help the engine breathe a little better. Next, they reinstall the newly upholstered door panels, bolt on the freshly painted valve cover, install the wheel liners, and finally mount the wheels. I have to say, I really like the color they chose. Do you remember the steering wheel from the beginning of the video? Well, it's finally back, and I think the restoration turned out absolutely incredible. It honestly looks brand new. After taking care of the final details, the Integra is finally finished. So, what do you guys think of the final result? Personally, I think this was a fantastic restoration overall, even though I still believe the painting process could have been done much better. If you enjoyed today's restoration as much as I did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know down in the comments what you'd rate this build. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday with another incredible restoration.